we will be dealing with the second skill of language, that is speaking, capital S. Hope you all did the activity that was given for you for speaking. Pair work. You took a topic randomly and you made a talk on the topic in English for a maximum of 5 minutes. Today we'll be dealing with the skill speaking. As the acronym goes, you listen and only then you speak. And then comes, after speaking comes the skill reading and then writing. Speaking kapparana reading vanduchu, reading kapparana eludradhu writing skill vanduchu. I'll start up with the theories that are related to speaking. The speaking அப்படின்றது எப்படி வந்துச்சு, அதோட origin என்ன, what is the origin of the skill speaking அப்படின்னு பார்க்கும்போது there are many theories relating to it. I'll discuss the theories now. Theory number 1. Theory number 1 is bow wow theory. It spells as B-O-W-W-O-W, bow wow theory. The theory or the belief and what does this theory suggest? This theory says that speaking or sound originated from the imitation of natural sounds. When you imitate natural sounds, அதுக்கு வந்து பேரு onomatopoeia அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. I'll tell you the spelling, you can take it down. O-N-O-M-A-T-O-P-O-E, onomatopoeia அப்படின்றது natural sounds, soundsல இருந்து sounds imitate பண்ணி தான் speech அப்படின்றது வந்துச்சு. It gave birth to speech. For further explanation, I can tell you, for example, when a dog comes, usually for babies who are say 1 year old or 1.5 years old, what we say is toto. நாய் எப்படி கத்தும், லொல்லொல்னு கத்தும். இதுதான், இப்படிதான் நம்ம வந்து லாங்குவேஜ் ஸ்பீக்கிங் ஸ்கில்ன்றத குழந்தைங்களுக்கு சொல்லி தரோம் இல்லைங்களா? that is the idea of this theory, bow wow theory. Theory number 2. Theory number 2 is ding dong theory. D-I-N-G-D-O-N-G, ding dong theory. This theory believes that the sound, it originated from the sense of rhythm. Rhythm அப்படின்றது movements in nature. Movements in nature. When a bell rings, it moves ding dong. So it all it is all related to the movements that happen in nature. So ding dong theory believes in the sense of rhythm. Theory number 3 is poo poo theory. P-O-O-H, P-O-O-H. This theory, it believes that speech or sound originates from the involuntary exclamations of pain, surprise and wonder. ஒரு exclamation, ஒரு happiness, ஒரு surprise போது நம்ம யூசுவலா we use expressions like wow, alas. இது மாதிரியான எக்ஸ்கிளமேஷன்ஸ்ல இருந்து தான் ஸ்பீச் அப்படின்றது வந்ததுன்றது பிலீஃப் தான் பூ பூ தியரியோட பிலீஃப். தியரி நம்பர் 4 இஸ் ஜெஸ்சர் தியரி. ஜெஸ்சர் அப்படின்றது நம்மளோட பாடி லாங்குவேஜ், நம்மளுடைய சைன் லாங்குவேஜ், our body movements, the way you use your hands, the way you use your legs, your eye contact, your facial expressions. இதெல்லாம் பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் இதுல இருந்து தான் சவுண்ட் ஸ்பீச் அப்படின்றது ஆரிஜினேட் ஆச்சு. நெக்ஸ்ட் தியரி இஸ் யோ ஹி ஹோ. யோ ஹி ஹோ, இட்ஸ் YO hyphen HE hyphen HO. Yo he ho. This theory states that speech, a sound, is formed from the words uttered by groups of people engaged in joint burdensome labor. நிறைய பேர் சேர்ந்த as a crowd, when people do some work, அதுல இருந்து அவங்க கொடுக்குற sound, words uttered by groups of people engaged in joint burdensome labor. To be very clear, it is a sudden release of the air that gets accumulated in your lungs while exerting powerful muscular effort. For example, ILSA அப்படின்றாங்க yo he ho theory. So this believes that sound, it's produced or it's formed from the words uttered by these groups of people. The last theory is musical theory. Musical theory believes that sound originates from songs, especially songs that give you that maybe release feelings of love and joy. Reaction to emotions la irundhu dhaan speaking skill originate ஆச்சு அப்படின்றது belief தான் musical theory ஓட. Before we start to the main session, speaking, the theories, we came across 6 theories under speaking, the origin of speaking. Before going into the main topic, what is stage fear, how to make a presentation, how to make an effective presentation. Just a few minutes back, I posted 3 pics in 3 groups. Hope you had a glance on it. At the end, you have almost 25 questions there. It is a questionnaire. It is called Communicators self-inventory. It's a kind of test where you can check on your speaking skills. What I want you to do is, after this session is over, you can go through that post that is there in WhatsApp, read each statement and circle yes or no. All of the questions, they have only 2 options, either yes or no. So you can circle yes or no. After answering yes or no, you can review each answer. Now, how to do this reviewing? You circle the plus or the minus that you find very much near to the yes or no options to indicate how you feel about your answer. A plus means you are satisfied, you're happy, positive side. A minus means you wish you could have answered otherwise. Answer honestly based upon how you actually feel or how you actually act in that particular situation, and not how you wish you would. Review your self-inventory. For each item where you circled a minus sign, indicating that you don't feel good about your answer, write a goal for personal improvement. Your goal should be specific and clear. For example, if you write a goal for statement 3, I'll read the question, question number 3. I often get the conversation going among my friends and even with people I don't know. So if you happen to write a goal for statement 3, you might say, I will start conversations with one person I don't know each day this week. I'm repeating the goal statement. I will start conversations with one person I don't know each day this week. For example, another example I can give you is question number 15. Question number 15 reads, in comparison to my friends, I think I listen more carefully than they do. In comparison to my friends, I think I listen more carefully than they do. For statement 15, you might say, I will learn to listen more carefully. I will learn to listen more carefully. For statement 22, question number 22 is, I speak clearly and pronounce words correctly. I speak clearly and pronounce words correctly. For statement 22, you might say, I will make a list and learn the pronunciation of one difficult word each day. I will make a list and learn the pronunciation of one difficult word each day. So this is your homework for today. Answer all the 25 questions and make your self-inventory. You can also review your self-inventory by writing goal statements where you find a minus sign. Coming to how to make a successful presentation, how to make a successful talk without any fear. I'll put forth 3 icebreaker questions. You can answer it to yourself. Question number 1. Do you feel that flush of nervousness when asked to introduce yourself to a group or committee? Icebreaker question number 1 is, do you feel that flush of nervousness, becoming very anxious when asked to introduce yourself to a group or a committee? Your answer will be either yes or no.
Karthiga ma'am, any issue?
Icebreaker question number 2. Do you have nightmares about being forced to give a speech in front of a crowd? Icebreaker question number 3. Have you bottled up a good idea rather than risk speaking up in a meeting? So question 1 is, have you ever felt very anxious when you were asked to introduce yourself in front of a crowd, in front of a group or a committee? ஒரு செல்ஃப் இன்ட்ரடக்ஷன் கொடுக்க சொல்லும் போது உங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு பதட்டம் இருந்துச்சா? இதுவரை அது மாதிரி எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? கையெல்லாம் எனக்கு ஜில் ஆயிருச்சு, கையெல்லாம் வந்து ரொம்ப ஒரு மாதிரி நடுங்க ஆரம்பிச்சிருச்சு அப்படிலாம் சொல்லுவாங்க. அது மாதிரி இருந்திருக்கா? நம்பர் 1. நம்பர் 2, do you have nightmares about being forced to give a speech? ஒரு பெரிய கூட்டத்துக்கு முன்னாடி என்னைய பேச வச்சிருவாங்களோன்னு எனக்கு ஒரு பயம் இருக்கு. About being forced to give a speech in front of a crowd. 3, have you bottled up a good idea? ஒரு மீட்டிங் நடக்கும் போது ஒரு ஐடியா சொல்லணும்னு நினைக்கிறதுக்கு பதிலா சொல்லணும் நீங்க நினைக்கிறீங்க, ஆனா அது கடைசி வரையுமே சொல்லல. You don't want to speak. Have you bottled up a good idea rather than risk speaking up in a meeting? The answer to these 3 questions will be either yes or no. Hope you have completed. If your answer is yes to any of these three questions, you are not unusual. You are a normal human being. Because we all feel somewhat nervous when all eyes turn to us. That's natural. Even experienced professors, they feel nervous. They feel anxious when entering their class for the very first time. Now, when a semester begins, they feel anxious. Anxiety, it plays an important role in keeping us mentally alert. Anxiety is also a good thing. Nervousness can be our friend too. Now we'll see as to how to build up confidence while making a speech or while making a presentation. How to build confidence while speaking. One great tip that is used for practice, and through this practice you can also gain confidence to make a presentation anytime, anywhere. It may seem very awkward in the beginning at first, but make your presentation in front of a mirror. That is the very first tip, first activity that we can do to get rid of fear. Make your presentation in front of a mirror. The second activity that can help to get rid of fear, shyness, anxiety is, now with the advancement of technologies, now you can videotape your talk. Videotape your talk. Record your talk. After that, you play it and you find the mistakes. Now, certain areas where you can improve upon your body language, your eye contact, the points that you have missed. And one more activity that could help is presenting to an audience of people who will give you honest feedback and also good ideas for improvement. So you can make a talk in front of your true friends, honest friends who can give you honest feedback. They can give you a constructive criticism on your talk. Constructive criticism is you will get both positive feedback, all your positive points will be highlighted, and also your negative points will be highlighted. That is a constructive criticism. The next important criteria for making a winning presentation is to be idea conscious and not self-conscious. To be idea conscious and not self-conscious. What is being self-conscious? Just imagine that Dhoni is playing on the cricket ground. While Dhoni plays on the cricket ground, he doesn't consciously think, I will take 6 steps to my left, 2 steps forward, raise my glove with my left hand, and shield my eyes from the sun with my right hand. No. Instead, he fixes his eyes on the ball and visualizes the desired result of catching it. His unconscious success mechanism handles the details. He doesn't need to think about the little things that might go wrong. He doesn't bother with concerns about tripping over his shoelace, taking the wrong size steps, or raising his glove too late. He lets success happen. This very same principle applies in any planned oral talk, in any planned speech, in any planned oral communication, in any planned presentation. Too much concern with little mechanics, once you have reached the point of doing the presentation, can only distract and it can create anxiety. One more example that I can give you for not being self-conscious is standing in front of camera for a photograph, and the photographer says, say cheese. When you're trying to smile naturally, the photographer all of a sudden says, say cheese. And that's when the smile tends to look artificial. Self-consciousness tends to be self-destructive. If you're overly worried about the way you look, you often overcompensate, and this draws attention which would not ordinarily be centered on you. Whereas when you're caught up in a conversation or telling a story, while you're telling a story or when you're talking with someone, and the conversation of the story makes you smile, and you're usually unaware of the smile itself. And it is at that point the smile appears the most natural. It's similar when speaking before others. So be listener-centered, be message-centered, and not self-centered. The next criteria for making a successful presentation is building your personal credibility. Building your personal credibility. Aristotle wrote about communication in his work, The Rhetoric. There he explained that there are three types of arguments or forms of persuasion one may use to convince people. Three forms of convincing people. The first is logical appeal. The first is logical appeal. Logical appeal can be termed as logos, Logos. The second appeal is emotional appeal. This emotional appeal is termed as pathos, Pathos. And the third is ethical appeal. Ethical appeal is termed ethos, Ethos. Ethos, or otherwise called ethical appeal, according to tradition, is the most important of the three classical concepts. In regard to ethos, Aristotle said, there are three things which inspire confidence in the communicator's own character. The three, namely, that induce us to believe a thing apart from any proof of it: good sense, good moral character, and goodwill. There is no proof so effective as that of the character. The term ethos is what we now call speaker credibility. Speaker credibility. Logical appeal is when you talk to people or when you try to convince people or persuade people by giving or providing scientific data. That's called logical appeal, logos. The second category, emotional appeal, pathos. One example that I can give you for emotional appeal is maybe a teenager begging for a brand new jeans so as not to feel tragically left out by his own peers. Just because his friends are wearing a brand new jeans, he also wants to wear it. That's an emotional appeal. And even the Coca-Cola advertisement, it is an emotional appeal. They show a beach where everyone is sitting, and on drinking Coca-Cola, they become very happy. They show moods of joy and merriment. That is an emotional appeal. And naturally, you get enticed or tempted to buy a Coca-Cola. The last is ethical appeal. Ethical appeal is they provide you with information so that you naturally believe. You are easily persuaded. There is credibility in the way they persuade. There is credibility in the way they convince you. The best example for ethical appeal is, say, a specific brand of toothpaste. A specific brand of toothpaste says that 4 out of 5 dentists use it. 4 out of 5 dentists use that toothpaste. That is an ethical appeal. The term ethos is what we now call speaker credibility. Credibility is faith placed in you by others who perceive you as being intelligent, as having high standards, as being trustworthy, and so forth. It is cumulative and ongoing. What you say or do today will have a bearing on how others view your credibility tomorrow. So, building or maybe gaining the listener's credibility while making a talk or a presentation is important. The next criteria is, remember that you and your listeners need each other. Always remember that you and your listeners need each other. By coming to your presentation or inviting you to talk, listeners are expressing a need for information, friendship, help, approval, or clarification, or even inspiration at times. And you as a presenter, while you make a talk, you have your own needs. And one strongest need for a presenter is approval. And only our own listeners can give that. It can be shown in many forms, from a simple oath, no raising of hands, to a signature on a document, sales agreement, to an outburst of applause or a hearty thank you. So it is a mutual relationship. And once you finish a talk, it is always essential to be open to feedback. We need to be open to feedback. One of the most critical ingredients in boosting communication skills is to be receptive to feedback, even from your critics. This, of course, can be very painful, but it can also be exceptionally valuable. We never really know how we are coming across to others unless we seek feedback. Ineffective communicators prefer to be ostriches. That's what I told you earlier. Receiving constructive criticism from people who are very close to us. Ineffective communicators, they prefer to be ostriches. They bury their heads and tune out all negative comments. In doing so, They never learn what they need to know to improve. But of course, the ostrich always leaves one end exposed. For most people, giving criticism, even in a constructive way, is risky. When people first offer such feedback, they watch closely to gauge others' responses. The reaction they receive will usually determine whether they will offer feedback again. This means that you have an opportunity to avoid turning off future feedback that could be valuable to you. So how can you encourage feedback? How can you accept the feedback without getting hurt? The first thing is, don't be defensive. Listen. The first and the foremost thing that you have to do is listen to the feedback that you get. Don't explain. Don't justify your answer. Learn to withhold your response. The time to explain or justifying your actions is not during the criticism. Or even if you feel the criticism is unwarranted or stems from a misunderstanding, you need not explain or justify. Listen now. You can explain later. Your defensiveness stifles feedback. It tells others you are more interested in justifying yourself than in understanding what is being said. Your second approach towards encouraging feedback is ask for specifics. This is a good opportunity to obtain more information. Honest questions will support and encourage continued feedback. For example, say, that's very helpful. Tell me more. Is there anything else I should know about that? Another approach is express an honest reaction. You certainly have a right to express your feelings about the feedback. You may well say, I'm a little surprised you said that, but you may have a point. Or, I'm not sure what to say. I never even thought of that, but I will start thinking of it from now on. And the last is, thank those providing feedback and plan for the future. That people know that you realize how risky giving feedback can be and express your appreciation for their efforts. This might also be a good time to plan for future feedback sessions. This is how you deal with the feedbacks that you get. Coming up to the body language part of your talk. That is the next criteria under making a winning presentation. Pay attention to the costume that you wear for your speech or your talk, your presentation. Your appearance, in other words. You have to deliver your message like a professional. Dress and grooming should be appropriate to the occasion. They should not be so extreme in style that they draw attention away from our message. In other words, your tie, your jewelry shouldn't talk louder than you do. Next is your body movement and gesture. Gestures, movements can be used to punctuate points in your message. Facial expression and eye contact. Listeners focus on your face and eyes as you speak. Facial expression almost always conveys how you really feel about what you're saying. The most important part of the face is your eyes. We expect people to look us in the eyes when they talk to you. Not an extended, piercing look, but contact with occasional breaks to blink or look away. People who fail to make sufficient eye contact are not to be trusted. Next is avoid filler words. Filler words are otherwise called verbalized pauses. Few things can irritate your audience as much as the liberal use of and the ever popular, you know. So tape yourself before making a presentation and you can count the number of filler words that you use. So that can help you to avoid it in future. So these are the basic criteria that can make a presentation a successful one. Also, I have also given you a few tips where you can practice a speech before taking up into the final stage. Now we will have one video talk being played. Over to Shanti ma'am.
Yeah, I'm playing now.
I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when the capital, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Yeah, it's over. You want me to play the another video? Jaishree, ma'am,
And the other videos I can post. Hello.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Okay, fine.
We'll have a recap of what we learned in this session. We started up the session with the theories of speaking. I told you 6 theories under which they believe that sound had originated, the speaking skill had originated. After which we had, I gave you, I have posted 3 pictures in WhatsApp, which is Communicators self-inventory. You can fill it after this class and you can see your own, you can review your self-inventory by framing your goal statements for the minus signs that you get when you answer no. Then we had 3 icebreaker questions where we learned the importance of anxiety, how anxiety can play a significant role in making an effective presentation. Anxiety can also be our friend. We need anxiety at times to make a successful or a winning presentation. And I gave you a few tips on building confidence, making a presentation in front of a mirror, or making a presentation and videotaping it so that you play it later and you look at the negative things that could be improved upon. Third is making a presentation in front of a group of audience, in front of an audience, so that they give you honest feedback. You get a constructive criticism from them. Next is the 3 types of credibility, personal credibility stated by Aristotle in his work, The Rhetoric: logos, logical; pathos, emotional; and ethos is ethical. And it is stated that ethos, the ethical appeal, is the best way of persuading or convincing people. Next thing is both we as well as the listeners, we need each other, and the various ways in which we can make our presentation, making our appearance, our costume, body language, eye contact, facial expression. All this plays a key role while making a presentation. At the end, you watched a video. It is Martin Luther King's speech, "I Have a Dream." After this class, I will post a few more talks by great speakers. We'll have Jawaharlal Nehru's talk, Obama's speech at the Taj, APJ Abdul Kalam's talk, and there is a website called, you must have been aware of this, TED Talks. இப்போ ரொம்ப ஃபேமஸா வந்துட்டு இருக்குது. TED, T for tiger, E for elephant, D for dog. TED Talks. From TED Talks, I have taken up a video titled Surabhi Gautam's How I Became an IAS Officer. I will also post the same in the group, in all the 3 groups. All these videos are very powerful speeches. You can go through these talks when you're free. And for tomorrow's session, reading, I have titled the session as Reading a Book Review, a Movie Review. So while you ask questions, after asking questions, I would like to get a movie's name from you all, a common movie, so that I can take up the review. I'm here to take a review for tomorrow's session. எல்லாரும் நீங்க எல்லாமே பார்த்த மாதிரி ஒரு படம், எந்த படம்னு சொன்னீங்கன்னா அதை பேஸ் பண்ணி நம்ம ரிவ்யூ எடுத்தேன்னா அதை பேஸ் பண்ணி நம்ம ரீடிங் ஸ்கில் எப்படி பண்றதுன்னு பார்க்கலாம் நாளைக்கு. So just have a group chat and tell me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaishree ma'am. It's a wonderful session. I'll open the session for the participants now.
Yes, ma'am.
Here I can talk to you now.
Hello.
Hello. Ma'am, today's session is posted very well. The Talapati is the film. Shall we take Talapati?
தளபதியா? எந்த படம் மேம் அது? இப்ப வந்ததா? ரீசெண்டா படம் பார்த்து ரொம்ப நாள் ஆச்சு மேம், அதனால தான் கேக்குறேன்.
It's Rajinikanth's movie, ma'am.
பழைய படம் சொல்றீங்களா?
Yeah, it's Rajinikanth and Mammootty's movie.
தளபதி எல்லாத்துக்குமே ஓகேயா மேம்?
Why don't you take part-time movie, ma'am?
பார்ட் டைம் மூவியா? என்ன மேம் பார்ட் டைம்
Hello,
மூவி?
ma'am.
சொல்லுங்க மேம். எஸ் மேம். Many people are talking at a time. I would be happy if one question is posed at a time, please.
மத்தவங்க மியூட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க
Hello,
please.
Yes ma'am.
Ma'am, actually, we can take the recent movies like Bigil, ma'am, because in Bigil film, it is motivational.
Okay.
So,
மேம் நம்மளோட மெயின் எய்ம் வந்து ரீடிங் தான் மேம், சரிங்களா? படம் எதுவுமே நான் வீடியோலாம் போட போறது இல்ல. We are going to read.
Madam, Rakshasi would be better. Rakshasi.
மேம் நீங்க எல்லாம் டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணி எனக்கு ஒரே ஒரு மூவி சொல்லுங்க மேம். நீங்க ஆளுக்கு ஒன்னொன்னு சொன்னீங்கன்னா எனக்கு எப்படி சூஸ் பண்றதுன்னு தெரியல. ஈவினிங் ஒரு 8 o'clock குள்ள சொல்லுங்க. எஸ் மேம்.
Evening, ma'am. Hi.
ராட்சசி சொல்றீங்க, பிகில் சொல்றீங்க, தளபதி சொன்னாங்க ஒருத்தவங்க.
Ma'am, you choose, ma'am.
சரிங்க மேம்.
Okay. Hello.
எஸ் மேம்.
Any other question related to the session? Movie you can decide on later and ping her and all.
Here.
Now you can ask some more questions regarding session.
Ma'am.
Ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, origin of speaking சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தீங்க. Origin of speakingல what is the fourth one ma'am? Bobo theory, ding dong theory, poo poo theory, அப்புறம் the next one is
Gesture. Gesture.
Thank you ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening ma'am.
Ma'am, இந்த செல்ஃப் கான்ஷியஸா பேசுறப்போ நம்ம பர்ஃபெக்ஷனுக்கும் செல்ஃப் கான்ஷியஸ் இல்லாம பேசுறதுக்கும் என்ன டிஃபரன்ஸ் மேம்? ஒரு வேலை செய்யும் போது நம்ம ரொம்ப பர்ஃபெக்டா செய்யணும்னு நினைப்போம், ஆனா பேசுறப்போ இந்த செல்ஃப் கான்ஷியஸ்னஸ் இருந்துச்சுன்னா அங்க டிஸ்ட்ராக்ட் ஆகும்னு நீங்க சொல்லியிருந்தீங்க இல்லையா
மேம்? நீங்க செல்ஃப் கான்ஷியஸா இல்லாம பண்ணாலே எல்லாமே பர்ஃபெக்ட்டா வரும் மேம், அப்படிதான் நான் நினைக்கிறேன்.
ஓகே மேம், பட் பிகாஸ் சம்டைம்ஸ் ஐ ஹேவ் a thought, ஓகே நம்ம சரியா பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கும் போது நம்ம
சரியா நினைச்சிட்டே பண்ணீங்கன்னா நம்ம சொதப்பிடுவோம் மேம்.
அது எப்படி
அத செல்ஃப் என்னங்க மேம்?
எப்படி அத மாத்திக்கிறது மேம்?
மேம் செல்ஃப் கான்ஷியஸ் செல்ஃப் டிஸ்ட்ரக்டிவ் நான் சொன்னேன் இல்லையா ஒரு லைன். நீங்க சரியா பண்ணணும் நினைச்சிட்டே பண்ணீங்கன்னா அது வந்து it will be a failure.
ஓகே, அப்போ அந்த தாட் வரும்போது we have to avoid it.
avoid, ஆமா, இக்னோர் பண்ணனும் மேம். நீங்க you have to ignore.
Okay ma'am. Okay, thank you ma'am.
Thank you ma'am.
Hello.
Yes ma'am.
Ma'am, hearing theory la fourth one enna ma'am?
Fourth இப்பதான் நான் சொன்னேன், gesture theory ma'am.
Ma'am கொஞ்சம் ஸ்பெல் பண்ணுங்க ma'am அத.
GES.
என்ன ma'am?
GES.
GES.
TU.
TU.
RE.
Okay ma'am, thank you.
Yes ma'am.
Ma'am, TED Talks பத்தி சொன்னீங்களா ma'am? T for tiger, E for elephant and then D for
dog ma'am.
dog. Thank you.
www.ted.com ma'am போட்டீங்கன்னா TED Talks ஃபுல்லா வீடியோஸ் வரும் ma'am. ஃபுல்லாவே இன்ஸ்பிரேஷனல் ஸ்பீச்சஸ் தான் இருக்கும் அந்த வெப்சைட்ல.
Okay ma'am.
Ma'am, good evening ma'am.
Yes ma'am. Yes sir, good evening.
First of all, my appreciation to DIET Krishnagiri ma'am and Shanti ma'am also. During our DIET courses, our teachers used to say you have to think in English and speak. I am a math teacher. Do you think that in a particular situation like debate and other conversations, can we really think in English and speak, or I have to think in my native language and then translate ma'am?
Yes sir, that is one of the best methods sir. What you say? எங்களுக்கு காலேஜ்ல வந்து one of the teachers வந்து என்ன சொல்லிருக்காங்கன்னா, நைட் நம்ம படுக்க போறதுக்கு முன்னாடி வந்து we don't sleep immediately இல்லையா? படுக்கவே நமக்கு தூக்கம் வராது, எதையும் நினைச்சிட்டே தான் படுப்போம் இல்லைங்களா?
Yes ma'am.
அதையே நீங்க வந்து இங்கிலீஷ்ல நினைக்க கூடாதான்னு கேட்பாங்க. அததான் இப்ப நீங்க சொல்றீங்க. உங்க தாட் ப்ராசஸ், திங்கிங் ப்ராசஸே வந்து instead of having it in your mother tongue, you can think in English. பண்ணலாம் சார், நல்ல மெத்தட் சார்.
Thank you.
Thank you sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening ma'am.
Ma'am, your
Good evening
English,
ma'am. சொல்லுங்க ma'am.
ma'am, your English pronunciation is absolutely super, ma'am.
Thank
Please
you, ma'am.
try.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very nice, ma'am.
Thank you,
Today's
ma'am. Thank
class
you so
are very
much.
nice, and ma'am, please select the film yourself, ma'am. So that don't give choice to our group.
Okay, ma'am. சரிங்க ma'am.
Because you know which film is better for reading purpose, no? So that's why I'm
To
telling
be
you.
honest, I have not watched any movies for the past 5 years, ma'am. அதனால தான் நான் உங்கள்ட்ட கேட்டேன்.
No problem, ma'am. Before 5 years film you take, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, one question.
சொல்லுங்க sir.
Ma'am,
Yes sir.
how to pronounce that? Good evening, ma'am. How to pronounce that word gesture? Is it gesture or gesture?
Gesture, sir.
Gesture.
உங்களுக்கு pronunciation அனுப்புறேன் சார். நான் ஒரு தடவை செக் பண்ணிட்டு அனுப்புறேன்.
Okay. Thank you.
Ma'am, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Ma'am, நேத்து ஒரு சாங்குக்கு லிசனிங் ஒர்க் ஷீட் அனுப்புறேன்னு சொல்லிருந்தீங்கல்ல மேம்?
ஆமா மேம், அனுப்பிச்சிருந்தேனே மேம்.
ஓகே மேம், நான் செக் பண்ணிக்கிறேன் மேம். மைட் பி ஐ மிஸ்ட் அவுட்.
நான் போஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டேன் மேம். உடனே நான் போஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டேனே. குரூப்ல இருக்கு மேம். 3 குரூப்லயுமே இருக்கு.
ஓகே மேம், thank you மேம்.
Hello ma'am. Hello ma'am. Hello.
Yes ma'am, சொல்லுங்க.
The song was sent by you yesterday. Was super ma'am. உண்மையிலேயே நல்லா இருந்துச்சு. நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரியே நல்லா இருந்துச்சு ma'am.
Enjoy பண்ணிக்கலாம் ma'am.
Emerge before us.
Thank you ma'am.
When will you emerge before us ma'am? I am waiting.
Good evening ma'am.
I am Durga ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Thank you ma'am. Thank you.
Your explanation, everything was excellent ma'am.
Thank you ma'am. I'm happy you're enjoying ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Good evening ma'am. Yesterday class link was not sent.
What link ma'am? அது சாந்தி மேம் அனுப்புவாங்க மேம்.
Worksheet வந்துருச்சுல. Actually I missed yesterday class. I couldn't get the link.
Okay. Ma'am will post it soon ma'am.
Okay. Thank you ma'am.
Thank
and
you
the classes are very nice. But I feel better that if we also speak like that, if any chances, if the participant also take participate while talking, give some activities like that. So
okay ma'am. பாப்போம் மேம். ஃபியூச்சர்ல நடக்குதான்னு பார்க்கலாம் மேம். Yes ma'am. We will try.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you ma'am.
Ma'am, good afternoon ma'am.
Good afternoon ma'am.
Ma'am, class very super ma'am. ஸ்லோவா சொல்றீங்க. ரொம்ப நோட்ஸ் எடுக்கிறதுக்கு ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கு.
Thank you ma'am.
Good evening ma'am.
Good evening ma'am.
உங்களோட கிளாஸ் வந்து ரியலி சூப்பர். It gave me a lot of confidence. நிஜமாவே நான் பேசுறதுக்கு தயங்குவேன். இப்போ ரியலி ஐ ஹேவ் அ கான்ஃபிடென்ட். I'll take practice also. நீங்க சொன்ன practice எடுத்துக்கிறேன். 3 practiceம் before the mirror and everything. Really it gave us நிஜமா ஒரு மோட்டிவேஷன். As a English teacher, I really stammer for talk. என்ன சொல்றது, பயம் இல்ல, ஒரு இது அந்த வேர்ட்ஸ் வந்து கரெக்டா டக்குன்னு வராது. நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி ஒரு மிரர் முன்னாடி பேசி பிராக்டிஸ் பண்ணி கண்டிப்பா ஒரு பையன் கிட்ட டாபிக் கொடுத்து ஒரு 5 மினிட்ஸ் அவனே ஒரு டாபிக் கொடுக்க சொல்றேன். ஒரு 5 மினிட்ஸ் அவன் ஸ்டாப் சொல்ற வரைக்கும் நான் பேசிக்கிட்டே இருக்கிறேன்.
சரிங்க மேம். சரிங்க மேம்.
It was a super class ma'am. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Ma'am, one more question. Yes ma'am. And ding dong theory, can you say again? What is poo poo?
என்ன theory ma'am? Poo poo ding dong ma. Poo poo ding dong ma ma'am. Ding dong theory வந்து it is the sense of rhythm ma'am.
Okay.
Bell எப்படி அடிக்குது, the movement of the bell. சரிங்களா? movements in nature generally from natural objects, அதுல இருந்து ஆரிஜினேட் ஆகிற சவுண்ட்ல, அதுல இருந்து ஆரிஜினேட் ஆச்சு சவுண்ட்ன்றது டிங் டாங் தியரியோட பிலீஃப்.
ஓகே. பூப்பு தியரி
அப்படின்றது வந்து the involuntary explanations of pain, surprise and wonder, all your exclamations ma'am.
ஓகே.
சந்தோஷமா இருக்கும்போது, சோகமா இருக்கும்போது
ஓகே
நம்ம என்னெல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம், ஓ வாவ் எல்லாம் சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா, அதுல இருந்து தான் சவுண்ட், ஸ்பீக்கிங் ஸ்கில், ஸ்பீக்கிங் the language skill வந்து ஆரிஜினேட் ஆச்சுன்றது பூப்பு தியரியோட பிலீஃப்.
Okay, thank you ma'am. I missed that.
Thank you ma'am.
Ma'am, one more question ma'am.
Yes ma'am.
எந்த ஒர்க் ஷீட் வந்து எந்த லிங்க்குக்கு அனுப்பணும் மேம்?
மேம் நீங்க ஃபில் பண்ணி நீங்க செக் பண்ணிக்கோங்க மேம். நீங்க எங்கேயுமே சப்மிட் பண்ண வேண்டாம்.
ஓகே மேம்.
நீங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் வந்து யூ ஆர் ஹியரிங் தி சாங், செகண்ட் டைம் வந்து நீங்க இந்த கேப் ஃபில் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. இன்னொரு தடவை தேர்ட் டைம் ப்ளே பண்ணி நீங்களே செக் பண்ணுங்க கரெக்ட்டா இருக்கான்ட்டு.
Okay, ma'am.
And the song is available on the internet, ma'am. நீங்க full song you can download and you can check your answers.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Really super, ma'am.
Phillips ஓட ஆல்பம் மேம் அது. மைக்கேல் பிலிப்ஸ் ஓட ஆல்பம். ஆமாங்க மேம்.
Which film, ma'am?
Film இல்ல மேம், that's an album மேம். அது வந்து Backstreet Boys ஓட collection மேம். மைக்கேல் பிலிப்ஸ்.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
சரிங்களா மேம்?
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Ma'am, to pronounce the words correctly, do you suggest any app or website where we can correct us phonetically?
எனக்கு டிக்ஷனரி தான் மேம் தெரியும். ஆப் வெப்சைட்ல எல்லாம் வேண்டாம் மேம்.
Because we use British English, right? Because there are some words which differ. When we say tortoise, tomatoes.
Better to use a dictionary, ma'am. A pronunciation dictionary. Oxford.
Okay, ma'am.
அதுல உங்களுக்கு phonetics தெரியுமா மேம்?
Yes, ma'am.
அப்ப ரொம்ப ஈஸி தானே மேம். நீங்க டிக்ஷனரியே பாத்துறலாமே.
Okay.
அண்ணா நீங்க இப்போ கூகுள் பண்ணாலே it tells.
But every time we have to Google to find out a word. But if there is an app or something,
better to have a dictionary in hand, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the session was excellent, madam. You explained all the concepts very well. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Ma'am, today's session is very super.
Thank you, sir.
And a little faster than yesterday. Is it so, ma'am?
Okay, sir.
I feel like that.
Okay, I'll slow down the pace then. Thank you for your suggestion.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Can conclude the session, ma'am. Please conclude the session.
Yes, ma'am. Before that, the gesture or pronunciation யாரோ ஒருத்தவங்க கேட்டிங்க இல்லையா? Gesture. This is how you pronounce the word gesture. Gesture. சரிங்களா?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for the session. Kindly post the movies that you wish, that you wish to be discussed tomorrow through the WhatsApp group, in all the 3 WhatsApp groups. I'll go through it and I'll finalize one. Okay, you'll be having 2 reading sessions tomorrow. One வந்து ஒரு மாதிரி primary level-ஆ இருக்கும். சரிங்களா? இன்னொன்னு வந்து we will have a movie review. That's how I have planned. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. The session was very informative.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, one more thing I want to add, ma'am. Hello.
Sir, சொல்லுங்க sir.
Ma'am, already you posted that book, ma'am. That behavior-oriented Alan and Barbara Pease, that author name.
Body language சொல்றீங்களா sir?
Body language.
சொல்லுங்க sir.
அந்த மாதிரி வேற ஏதாவது books இருந்தா கொஞ்சம் சஜஸ்ட் பண்ணுங்க ma'am.
எந்த டாபிக்ல சார்? பாடி லாங்குவேஜ்லயே வா.
நம்ம பாத்துட்டோம்ல அந்த செஷன்லயே வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா.
இந்த செஷன்ஸ்ல. சரிங்க சார், அனுப்புறேன் சார் நானு.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Shall we wind up, Jaishree?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you all. We had a very nice session. Thanks to the resource person once again. On behalf of DIET Krishnagiri, we will meet again tomorrow. Thank you all. Please keep in touch with the resource person in your WhatsApp group. Thank you.
Thank you.